Ahoy, my friends, Ryder here, and welcome back to another Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis video. Today is my to pull or not to pull video for the new Vincent and Cait Sith banner. So that being said, without further ado, let's go check it out. Now, as is my wont, the first thing I would like to do is look at the animations. I did this in my patch updates video, but I always like to see them. I feel like that's a big part of pulling, or at least a part of pulling for a weapon, at least for me. I like them both. I think Vincent's is pretty cool. Now let's take a look at the actual costumes themselves here. I'm going to hide the UI. Let's take a look at Cait Sith here. We'll take a look at Cait right here. He looks really cool. I like his setup. I honestly wasn't expecting Halloween costumes this soon. I mean, literally beginning of October right now, which kind of makes me wonder what is coming towards the end of October, you know? So honestly, I think it's pretty cool. I like Cait. His little like pumpkin eye patch right there is cool. I always love how he has his little wings on the little Moogle guy right here. But it is a pretty cool costume. I think it's rad. Now, Vincent's here. Personally, I think this one is the winner. The only thing I don't really like is the freaking like crow mask right here. It's just like so pointy and out there. I feel like it could have just been a regular mask, but I love the holster on the side of his pants right here. I mean, let's be real. Vincent's got freaking swag, right? He always looks super good. I love the red on the black. He's got the red bowling shoes on right there. I'm just kidding. They're not bowling shoes, but they do look like bowling shoes. Let's be real. But honestly, it looks pretty sick. I love the freaking claw right there. It's super cool. And then the gun itself is also pretty dang rad. So both costumes pretty sick in the visual appearance. Now, I'm going to tell you guys right off the bat that personally for me, even though I actually could use a solid magic lightning DPS, and I'm considering maybe pulling for this if Young Angeal does not drop as a character next week. But for me, I am for sure waiting till next week to see if a new character is coming into the game before pulling this banner. This banner is going to be up until literally Halloween. So all of the month. So for me personally, there's absolutely no rush. And I am, I'm waiting to see what is on the horizon. It does look like middle of November, there might be another collaboration, right? There might be like another Final Fantasy crossover. Some people are saying since Ifrit's stream is getting unlocked, it could be Final Fantasy 16. And if it is a Final Fantasy 16 crossover, I want to have crystals saved up for that. So as of right now, I have 35,000. As a light spender, season pass spender, I can make average around 30,000 crystals per month, 25 to 30,000 crystals per month. So if I have 6 weeks, month and a half, that's like roughly 45,000. If I don't spend anything now, I have around 80,000, right? Which is basically enough for like 2 banners by the time that the crossover is done, meaning that I wouldn't be able to pull on this banner or any subsequent banner up until that point in time. So that is my current path for myself, just based on kind of what's going on. But for those of you guys out there that are interested in pulling, there are some good stuff here. Now, I will say that Vincent's, I think, is definitely the highlight of this banner. Cait Sith's, I feel like, is kind of a dud. Honestly, I don't recommend pulling for Cait's weapon. I don't think it's very good. We're going to go through it here in a second. I'm going to tell you why. But if you guys are looking for, a strong magic lightning DPS, you skipped Kieran gloves for Tifa, and I'm not even sure who else has a magic lightning attack. I think literally that's it. Lucia has like the Thunderbolt or the Thunderbird or whatever that weapon is called. But yeah, there's not much of them. But we also haven't seen much like Lightning Magic Week content, right? Like we have the current event right now, but who knows after that, right? So yeah, that's kind of how I feel on these. Now, this banner is a little bit different than ones that we've had before. Does this 1, 2, 3 intro? Okay, so they're not quite all 3 guaranteed, but the banner does look pretty good here. Now, if you guys can see right here, you get a Pumpkin Fest gear voucher for the costume, and I believe you can use this to turn in for either one of the new costumes or one of the old costumes. Now, the old costumes, I never recommend chasing anything in mobile games. That's in the past. Always look to the future, look to the horizon. There's always going to be new stuff there. However, if you guys really love the aesthetics of these costumes and you're willing to spend the crystals, then you can pick them up right here and now. Now, let's take a look at the actual weapons. This is the only weapon I think that's actually worth it on this banner. It is the Crow Familiar, and at base 5-star, we're going to have 277 magic attack. It's going to deal 520% magic lightning damage, meaning at OB1, it's probably going to be 620% magic lightning damage. Not bad. But for any of these weapons, you're trying to get to OB6. But the nice thing about this banner is that it's not limited. We can wishlist these weapons in the future. And so essentially, if you get the costume, the weapon is a guaranteed OB10 over time, right? Now, for this weapon, if you take it to OB6 right here, all right, you're going to have 780% magic lightning damage. So not the craziest, but still pretty dang good. Also, when buff is granted, it will do times 1.2 damage. This one is not the best. I would say when debuff is granted, it is the best one because we don't always have buffs, but a lot of times we do have buffs, so I still think it's pretty good. And then we have the limit gauge potency right here, special thing for Vincent, which is always fun, which raises it plus 5%. Now, the R abilities will give Magic Attack 27, Lightning Potency 27 at OB6, which is pretty solid considering the extent of these at OB10. And for the support abilities, we have double Magic Attack boost at 20% and the Triangle Sigil Breaker. It does look like Vincent literally only ever gets Triangle Sigil breaks. I don't think he's ever had anything different, so kind of funny actually to see that. Now, the weapon here at OB6, 609 magic attack. If we take it to OB10, it jumps to 664, so pretty strong. It'll go from 780% to 940% magic lightning damage, all right, which is pretty damn solid overall. Great weapon. Honestly, if you need a magic lightning DPS Arcanum, this is a great one to go for. Vincent's a great character. He gets a lot of showtime in the game. You know, it's not limited. You can build it over time. It's a really, I'd say it's a super solid banner if your account is in need of a magic lightning DPS. If you already have a physical lightning DPS, it's not necessarily as important, but as we are seeing in the game, physical and magic, you know, they separate them as much as possible. So every account in the game should essentially be looking for and eventually building one of each for each element, physical and magic, right? All right, so here is this weapon over here. Honestly, I think it's pretty solid, though there's nothing really about it that kind of stands out, that's kind of out of this world, that's new. It's not bringing anything crazy to the table. And the R abilities at OB10 are a bit lackluster, not the best. So it does get a little bit of points docked right there. We could have the 46 over 39 magic attack, which would be better, but it is what it is. You can't have everything in the world that we want, right? All right, so after that, let's actually take a look at the costumes here. Now, where exactly are the costumes? I think they're back here. So let's go back to Vincent. All right, so there it is. Here's the Crowmaster suit. Now, the weapon itself had nothing that was really out of this world. It's like the standard for elemental weapons right now. However, the costume is pretty sweet. Now, it's going to give magic defense 15% and HP 5%, which is a new R ability called Eerie Mask, which is really damn good. And then also we have the Lightning Arcanum itself. So honestly, I would say pretty damn solid, guys. Like solid 9 out of 10 Lightning Magic DPS right here for Vincent, maybe even 9.5. All right. Now, that being said, I do think that Vincent is worth pulling for the right account. I do think that everyone should wait for the next 7 days to do so, unless you're like a big spender, a whale, and it doesn't matter what drops next week, you can still get it. But if you're, you know, more like me, where it really depends and you're trying to save your crystals and spend them in the right way, shape, or form, and as you guys can see, I was able to pull on every banner for the anniversary because, you know, I waded through a lot of banners, right? And I think that's part of the skill of the game, is knowing when to pull and knowing when not to pull for your own individual accounts, right? Now, let's take a look at Cait's weapon right here. All right, base 5-star, it's going to be pretty close, 256 physical, 243 magic attack. It is a physical non-elemental damage that deals 260% at base 5-star. It does have a magic defense break here. It goes mid to mid. And then we have the Thunder Imperil here, which I believe is what the weapon is meant to do, right? which also goes to mid at base 5-star. So unlike most imperils where you can get mid to high at base 5-star, this one does not even have that. On top of that, the imperil is locked behind a 50% HP threshold, which can be super annoying depending on the fight. And then we have this little baby magic defense break to mid. So now if we take it to OB6, right? I mean, the stats are good. The magic defense to mid doesn't change, right? Obviously the imperil will go high to high, which is great, but you have to take this weapon all the way to OB6 to get this thing to do high on the Thunder Imperil, where this is a Thunder Imperiling weapon. Now, I would say that it's maybe not fully a Thunder Imperiling weapon if the frickin' magic defense break went to high, but it doesn't. So it's like a little side gimmick on the side, and then we have this imperil locked behind the HP. Honestly, guys, I think this weapon is kind of crap compared to a lot of stuff we have. Maybe in the certain perfectly right situation, it'll work well, but do I think it's worth pulling on the banner for? Absolutely not. Pick it up later on. You know, the one saving grace about this weapon are the frickin' R abilities right here. Attack 62, lightning potency 39. So good. They had to put something on there to, like, you know, kind of give people an incentive, I think, to build this weapon. And the R abilities are exactly that. They're really good for building for either a magic or physical lightning build. But you know, this is definitely not even in my like top 10 for weapons that I would be building right now. I think there's so many other good things in the game. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on that one right there. For the support abilities, we have physical attack boost 1. We have attack boost lightning ability damage plus 30%. I do like that, so it does get a little bit added bumps for points in my book right here. This is definitely a good support materia to have. And then also we have the circle sigil boost break right here. It feels like every weapon in the game has a sigil boost break on it. But I don't think that this is really ever something you would probably put in the main hand unless you just needed Cait Sith to do circle for some reason. So that's probably why they do it. Now, to look at Cait Sith's costume, let's go back here. All right, just since we're going through both characters. Cait Sith has the same, what is this R ability right here called Eerie Mask as Vincent. Magic defense plus 15%, HP plus 5%. Super good. I really like that a lot. Plus the buff debuff Arcanum right here, since it has the plus. Now for Cait Sith, honestly, this is one of the best costumes for him because so much of his kit is support that having a buff debuff duration Arcanum costume for him is really good. Now the problem is that, you know, most people are probably going to be pulling for Vincent. You would have to push into the second card to, you know, to get the second costume, etc. But if you really love Cait Sith, guys, if you love to play Cait Sith, you have a lot of his weapons, you're not interested in a young Angio character, and you have some extra crystals, you know, the only reason I could see pulling for this is not for the weapon, but actually for the costume. The costume is super solid for Cait Sith, and I think will, you know, do him really well in the future stuff to come. Is it absolutely necessary? No, I don't think so. Buff debuff extension costumes, lightning imperils, magic defense breaks are all doable by other characters and, you know, oftentimes in better ways. But yeah, that being said, guys, that is going to conclude my overall thoughts on this banner. I will be waiting and seeing and kind of playing it out as we go. If I do pull on this banner, it would probably be like, you know, 2 days before it expires, so we'll just have to wait and see. With that being said, I'm curious what you guys are going to do. If you are pulling, I wish you guys the best of luck out there. If you're deciding to hold off and save your crystals, I wish you guys strong discipline. With that being said, if you guys enjoyed this video today, please don't forget to drop a like and subscribe to the channel for more Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis content. I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.